Welcome back to another episode of Offspring Chaos. On this episode, we have my wife's car. It is a 2003 Ford Mustang Gt. It has the 4.6 modular motor. It's got the 5-speed manual, and I think it's a limited slip rear differential. Anyways, this weekend, in a couple days, we got a car cruise to go to. It's called the
Mustang Memories.
Yeah, the Mustang Memories. So we're going to actually go to a couple locations throughout the day, 4 locations, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. But this car needs a little bit of TLC to make sure it gets down the road correctly. It's a great car. We're going to kind of spoil it a little bit, do oil change, coolant flush. We got a oil filter housing that we need to replace the gasket on, window switch to replace, throw in the rear shocks, and if we do have time, we have the door hinges on the passenger side to replace. So let's get to work.
Let's not forget, we have to clean it too.
Oh yeah, and detail the heck out of it, because we are going to be the best looking ones there.
And the car.
Probably not. I can't see anything. See if we can find something. Oh, got something. Oh. Oh. How high can you go? I think that's high enough. All right, let's crawl under here. So, look at the oil filter gasket, or the oil filter housing. So, I don't know if any of you guys actually replaced the oil filter housing on the 4.6, but it is kind of common that these do leak. So how they actually work is that there's coolant that runs through the same housing, not within the oil, but there's 2 channels in there, one for the oil, one for the coolant. So that's why we have to drain the coolant as well. We might as well. It's got almost what, almost 100,000. So I think there's 3 or 4 bolts. So we're going to take the oil pressure sensor connector off, drain the oil, drain the coolant as much as we can, and then disconnect the 3 or 4 bolts to get this thing out. And then we're going to clean the surface up. If there's any kind of pitting in this aluminum housing, we're going to go ahead and sand it down with 300, 400 grit sandpaper, make that flush, install the new gasket, and fill the fluids back up. So it's not going to be that bad. So most likely what happens with these guys is because it is aluminum and the block is iron, there's some corroding going on with the 2 metals because they really don't like each other. So that's what we're going to do.
I can't take that off. You have to drain the coolant.
Yeah, so so you got the oil is drained and the oil filter's off and plugs back in. So what do we got to do now? Drain the coolant, right?
No. We have to dump this here. Bucket of oil.
Yes.
Bucket of used oil.
Bucket of oil.
And a bigger bucket of used oil. And then we're gonna use the same drain pan to drain the radiator.
And it's probably going to overfill. But that's okay. It'll be fine.
I doubt it.
Alright, so we're taking out the radiator drain plug. As I block for review, I'm going to get in here and...
Watch it go all over his phone.
You're getting it. It looked like it was loosening it up.
Smells like gas and oil, just like it should.
Yeah, this car is it's very, very clean underneath. The only thing leaking is that oil filter, or that housing. And I think you think there might be a remain seal leak. No.
You probably could let me know.
I'm recording.
I don't know, because there's quite a...
You never know. Not the worst thing, but
Typical.
When we do replace that throw out bearing of the pilot bearing in the back, we'll probably throw a new clutch in and remain seal.
You want me to say something?
If you want to, you don't have to. It's because a woman owns it.
I'm just joking.
Is that what it is?
Remind me of that class the other day. I bet you a female wouldn't do that, but a man would. See how this isn't taped everywhere? There's just spot taped on the conduit. Because this isn't a section where water would build up and dirt and moisture. And instead of taping it and sealing it all in there, they leave the conduit split open.
So it drains
that way
out?
It drains out, yep. Because the wire itself has, this is insulation. It has a certain resistance to it that takes a certain amount of wear and tear or slicing to actually get through the, you know.
Well,
Either way.
that makes sense. Anyways.
Guide me, I can't see.
Guide you?
Where's the plug?
Up. Right here. Right up here. There you go. You want me to tighten it?
There we go. Where?
Right here. Yep, right there.
I assume it's meant not to
I don't
come
think
out.
it's gonna come out, yeah. So it's gonna drain for days.
Yeah, like coolant does. Unless you blow a hose. Then everybody on the road gets excited.
Oh my god, I wasn't even recording. Anyways, we disconnected the drain plug, as you can see, and I didn't hit play. So there's a plastic drain plug under there that has an Allen size hole in the center, so we just takes like a half a newton meter to unthread it. So that's what we're doing, draining this out. Most likely it's not going to be enough. We're going to pull the plug or pull the hose off the oil filter housing slash deck or coolant housing, and it's going to come gushing out as well. So you never know though, so we'll see. We're going to let this drain out, and then we could probably start pulling that hose off the housing and start disconnecting the
Just let me hold it up there.
okay. Alright, so we got it pulled off. Anyways, so it is 4 bolts. The surface, the aluminum surface on the housing, it's not really in that bad a shape. It's actually pretty smooth, but I'm still gonna go around and kind of flatten it out a little bit because my eyes aren't 100%. So I'm gonna still use some 300, 400 grit and kind of flatten that up. The only thing that I do notice on the old gasket is that the ridges aren't there like they are on the new gasket.
Saggy.
Yeah, they're kind of like not in, existence. And the only thing I did notice is that on the coolant part, it's kind of blown out a little bit right here, as you can see, but we weren't really leaking coolant yet. But the coolant definitely needs to get changed. So I don't know if you can see that. So the inside of the block is starting to kind of deteriorate a little bit, and that's normal. The biggest thing is that it needs to get flushed. So what we're gonna do is, I don't know if we should blow some water or something in there. I don't know. But what we're gonna do is we are gonna put some new coolant in there. But I think we're gonna be done for the day. We'll get started tomorrow because it is getting late, and we got to go to work and come back and do this tomorrow. We're gonna slap it all back in tomorrow and fill it up. All right, let me crawl under here real quick. Yeah, so I can't see nothing. So I definitely need to get all that off. There's still some gasket material left on the block. So I'm gonna be real gentle and easily get all that stuff off, so I don't throw the new gasket on there and it leaks because all that stuff is still on there. So I'm gonna clean all that up. Probably use some Scotch-Brite or something like that, and some brake clean to clean all that up. So it'll be nice and smooth. So you guys just hang in there and watch. I got the housing back in. Wasn't too bad. Slapped everything back in. Kind of wrestled with the hose clamps a little bit, but we got it. So it's time for the oil and the coolant to go back in. I gotta throw the oil filter back on there. But we're gonna use the Motorcraft 5W20 synthetic blend. That's what came in this car from the factory, and that's what we're gonna put back into it. Also, it came with the Ford style gold coolant. Wasn't really gold when we pulled it out. It looked a little brown. But that's what happens usually with coolant. Coolant is kind of destroys everything. So if you don't reflush it out, it's gonna kind of eat away at your engine coolant passages. So we're gonna throw some new coolant in there. So yeah, let's get to work. All right, so I got the car pulled out. Oil's filled up, coolant is kind of filled up. So there's no leaks as of yet that we don't see. So what we're gonna do is let the engine heat up a little bit and let that thermostat open, and then it should suck some of that coolant down in the engine, and then we should be good to go. Top off the oil and get to cleaning. So it's gonna be fun.
Cold.
It's even cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel it.
I bet it is. All right, so it's time to wash the Mustang. Wife's washing her car, getting all the crap off and whatever else is on there. So I won't see it too much is on there because we washed it not that long ago and it hasn't really gone anywhere. But let me walk up in here. Some of the stuff that we use to clean all our cars is a lot of this Chemical Guys stuff. I actually like it a lot. A lot of the stuff that they have makes these cars pop a lot, especially this butter wax that I really like this stuff a lot. Especially with the darker cars, like on that one. It shines so freaking good. Anyways, cars in leather, so we're gonna use this stuff. And then when we actually wash it, we got this in the bucket already. And then a lot of the plastics and stuff like that that are inside. We're gonna use this, not so much steering wheel and everything else like that, but a lot of the stuff that's under the hood too we'll use, and the mirrors and everything else. This is what we'll use for the interior. The total interior cleaner and protector. And then after we wash it, we're gonna clay bar it. It's not that bad because I clay barred it like 2 weeks ago or so when it was sitting outside, and clay barred it before I brought it inside. And then after that, we're going to, after we wash it, we're gonna throw this ceramic glass coater and cleaner. So it's gonna be really shiny. So we're gonna be doing a lot of driving and stuff like that. So the clay bar will help, you know, help the paint be a lot more smooth and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff won't be sticking to it. So let's clean it. Hey, thanks for watching the video. We're really excited to go tomorrow. This will be our second time at the Mustang Memories. We haven't been to the road tour yet. So we got everything all put together just in the nick of time. Hopefully it doesn't overheat because that was our initial issue. We didn't have enough time to do the door switch, so hopefully tomorrow it actually rolls up and down. So oil change done, coolant's done, everything's clean. So come back for the next video where we actually go on the road tour. So thanks again. Please like and comment and subscribe.